What's up, ladies and gents? Welcome to GNR. My name is Francisco, and today we're going to be talking about an XLR dynamic microphone that's only going to run you $100. That, of course, is, ladies and gents, the Rode Podmic. Now, this is a $100 dynamic XLR microphone, meaning that if you're going to be using a microphone like this, you're going to need some sort of audio mixer, audio interface to be able to connect it to your computer, because it is an XLR only microphone. It's not a hybrid like the Shure MV7 or the Q9U by Samsung. This is strictly XLR only. It's not incredibly sensitive. It is a very gain-hungry microphone. And this thing right here for $100, y'all, I'm just going to tell you, I usually say this at the end, but I'm just going to tell you now, this microphone is really damn good for $100. So let's go ahead and get into the reasons why. Now, the first thing I want to talk about in regards to the Podmic is going to be its build quality. Let me tell you this right now. Although this thing is fairly small in terms of microphones, don't be deceived by its size. It is very, very heavy. It has a very significant weight to it. You can just, when you put it in your hands and you just hold it, it's like, oh my Lord, this thing's a little heavier than I thought it would be. It is built like a tank. This thing has probably one of the best build qualities in a microphone I have seen to date, right? So you got the mount adapters right here. And the cool thing with this adapter is that it has the threading for both sizes of the threading options for your boom arms or your pole arms, or pole arm, that's a weapon. For your boom arms and mic stands, it'll fit both standard sizes without having to buy a little separate adapter that you have to screw in and do all that nonsense with. This is just ready to go no matter what size threading you have. It's a very elegant looking microphone. I mean, I think it looks very nice. It is something that I would definitely be very proud to show off in a stream or in a video or a podcast, if you will. I'm just overall, I'm very impressed with how great this thing feels and how great this thing is built, given that it's only $100. I mean, for $100, I would expect this level of build quality, but I think we've become comfortable with accepting less than that. And this is a damn good microphone when it comes to build quality. So, and just so y'all know, this is the Shure SM7B. I'm running this through Audacity. I have no post-processing, no compression, no EQ, nothing like that. The only thing I've got running on this right now is noise reduction, just to get a cleaner sound for y'all. Other than that, anything else that I do for post-processing or equalization, I'll let you know down here in the bottom. And we're going to compare this to 1 and 2 other microphones, and then we'll call it a day. So without further ado, let's get right into the sound. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so this is the Rode Podmic. We're going to go ahead and get right into the sound. But first, let me walk you through the connection and the setup and everything else. So the Rode Podmic is plugged into my cloud lifter, which is plugged into my Focusrite Scarlett Solo 3rd generation audio interface. And that, of course, is plugged into my computer. Now, unlike the Shure SM7B, where I had the gain set to about 3 o'clock, for the Rode Podmic, I've actually got the gain set to about 1 o'clock. And that means that this microphone is not as gain hungry as the SM7B is, but it still requires a good little bit of gain to run. Now, you must be asking yourself, well, Francisco, does the Rode Podmic need a cloud lifter or a FET head or any sort of signal booster to really be functional? Well, we'll answer that question shortly, because I will test it out without the cloud lifter, just so you can get an idea of what it sounds like. But to kind of get things started, the sound of this microphone is actually really, really darn good, especially coming in at $100. I love how this microphone handles my voice and how it sounds so far. It's got a pretty clean sound. It's got that broadcasty sound to it. And once again, no post-processing, nothing at all, just noise reduction. That's all I've got going right now. Now, in terms of it being a dynamic microphone, obviously I choose to go with dynamic microphones at home because it can be somewhat of a noisy environment from time to time. So let's just go ahead and see what noise rejection it sounds like, right? So typically for dynamic mics, it's going to pick up the sound right here directly in front of the microphone, maybe a little bit off to the sides, but very little to the rear. So let's go ahead and give that a shot. So, hi, my name is Francisco. 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 See, there you go. So from what I could see here on Audacity too, it definitely picked up the least amount of sound from the rear and a little bit from the sides, but obviously the most sound it's going to get is going to be here from the very front of the microphone. It is a top address microphone, so definitely make sure you're speaking to the top of the mic. All right, y'all, so I've gone ahead and disconnected the cloud lifter from the whole chain of connections, if you will. And now I've got the Podmic running straight into my Scarlett Solo 3rd generation audio interface without the cloud lifter being involved here. And the gain is still set to 1 o'clock, and this is exactly what it's going to sound like. And I think and I hope that you can notice that it's actually sounding pretty quiet. So we're going to go ahead and start cranking the gain up a little bit, and we are at about the 3 o'clock position right now. The green light is starting to turn on, but it's not staying on consistently. So we're going to go ahead and just keep on going. All right, we are now at about max. So we are now at max gain, and this is what the microphone will sound like. So in the testing that I've done, max gain sounds good. It sounds what I would consider to be good. But the issue here is that when you have the gain turned up to max, you're in the middle of a stream, you're playing something on YouTube, you're enjoying the game, you do something awesome or something very bad happens to you in a game, and then all of a sudden you start getting really loud, or maybe you start peaking a little bit and start getting a little bit louder. And because your gain is so high, you're going to start clipping, you're going to start getting a lot of distortion in your audio commentary, and that is something that you do not want. You want to avoid that. All right, the other thing I want to test out real quick before we get into some sort of mic comparisons are the plosives and its noise rejection. Let's start off with the plosives. Peter, pickle, pepper, piper, person, pack, purse, p, 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 v, v, v. And now we're going to go ahead and test out its noise rejection. For instance, in those scenarios where we are sitting here typing away or playing on some sort of mechanical keyboard as we play in our games and streaming, how much of that noise is this microphone going to pick up? This is the, I just bought this keyboard the other day, yesterday. It's SteelSeries Apex Pro TKO mechanical keyboard with blue switches. And this is what you would expect to find. So I'm just going to go ahead and sit here and type away. And, I'm going to sit here like I'm actually commentating throughout the game. Like, oh my God, I got such a sick headshot in PUBG when I used to be good, but I'm not really that good anymore, so I don't really get sick headshots anymore. All right, y'all, so we're going to go ahead and get into some mic comparisons. We will start off with the Rode Podmic. I'm going to read a quote from Dr. Seuss. It's a quote that I actually read in a previous video that really stuck with me because that was the first time I had ever read it, and I think it's a phenomenal quote. Once again, no post-processing, only noise reduction, gain set to 1 o'clock using the Cloud Lifter and the Scarlett Solo 3rd generation audio interface. Here we go. You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know, and you are the one who'll decide where to go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now that same exact quote using the Shure MV7 with the same exact connections. MV7, Cloud Lifter, Focusrite, Scarlett Solo 3rd generation audio interface. Here we go. You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know. And you are the one who'll decide where to go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and finally, we're going to go ahead and compare everything to the Shure SM7B. Same exact quote. Let's go. You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself in any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know, and you are the one who'll decide where to go. So, no post-processing, plug and play, same exact connections for every single one of these microphones. What did y'all think? Which one did you think sounded the best? As a $100 XLR dynamic microphone, I think that the Rode Podmic right here is a phenomenal microphone. If this is going to be the first XLR microphone you buy, you're going to make a very good purchase here. So long as you take the time to test it and make sure that it works for you. It's built like a tank. It's durable. It's got some heft to it, which obviously makes it feel like it's a very high quality microphone at a not high quality price, which is awesome. I think it sounds amazing. It has a very good, crisp, clear, broadcasty feel to it. It doesn't sound as warm as the SM7B would, for example, but that's something that you can get very close to just using some good EQ. So for example, if you're in OBS and you're using this microphone, I highly encourage all of you to download the Reaper plugins. They are free, and you're able to do compression, noise gate, EQ, and a bunch of other things. And when you mess with the EQ in there, you're going to get really, really good sound out of any microphone. I've played around with the EQ settings in Reaper plugins with this microphone compared to this microphone, and I got some really good results there. At the end of the day, if you're about to dive into the world of XLR microphones, you want to go dynamic, and you're saying, hey, I don't know which one to get, the Rode Podmic is probably one of the best ones to get right now at that price point. Make sure you got the right equipment. Make sure you spend some time doing some research on that equipment that you're going to purchase for it. Try to get out there and test it out for yourself just to make sure that it works with your voice, because other than that, I see absolutely no problem, no reason why anyone should not buy this microphone if you're trying to go into the $100 range for XLR dynamic microphones. I would easily charge $150 to $200 for the microphone, and instead they're charging $100. So great job, Rode. Fantastic microphone. Anybody out there who had any doubts about purchasing it, just do some research, go test it out. 9.9 out of 10 times I'm going to tell you, go ahead and buy it. It's a fantastic mic. I used to think that the best $100 XLR microphone was going to be the Shure SM58. That's done. That's officially done with. The Rode Podmic, for me, in my opinion, is the best $100 XLR microphone out there right now. Dynamic, that is. So I hope y'all found this video helpful and informative. If you have any thoughts or comments, make sure you put them in the comment sections below. While you're here, make sure you hit the subscribe buttons and the bells and whatnot, and like the video and tell everybody about it. And while you're doing all that, get on your phone and go ahead and follow me on Twitter at @GNR_Frank. Until next time, be good to yourselves, be good to one another. Peace out.